Elephant Man Podcast Network. Grown man conversations dealing with elephants in the room. It's your man DB. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so you can know when new material is coming out. IG Elephant Man _ podcast, Facebook /podcast, and of course on YouTube. Shalom, shalom, blessings, everybody. You know, I just wanted to come on real quick and talk. I had this on my heart since Thursday. Right. I've been running around and everything. Check in before they check out. What does that mean? But before I do that, I want to just say blessings and shalom to everybody that's entering the chat. Share. I kind of just popped on last minute. And so I didn't let everybody know in enough time. But share with other people that we're coming on and we're going to get in and we're going to have a good time, and we're going to just bless Yahushua HaMashiach. Hopefully you guys had an interesting week. Man, that Kanye West stuff is everywhere, man. Man, I don't even know if I'm going to do no show on that. It's just everywhere, man. Everywhere. But I want to talk about that check-in before they check out. And also, too, even on my website, man, I'm starting to get suspicious on it. So let's go to it. I'm going to present what's going on. I'm going to share my screen, the Chrome tab. I'm thinking of some funny business, y'all. Look at that. 798 subscribers. Are they showing it on there? Yeah, it says 798 subscribers, right? So I'm like, every time, I'm trying to be on the low without no pictures. But every time we get on there, what is it doing? Oh, man, technical difficulties. Yeah, man. I'm in an undisclosed location, so I didn't want to get on the camera. But blessings to all you guys anyway. But every time I get up to 981, and always 2 unsubscribe. Shalom, Kevin, Andres. Shalom, shalom. Blessings to you, brother. Rohan, blessings to you. We got to get you back on there. We got to get you back on the show. But every time I get up to 80, 81, it goes back down to 78. So, and it's been doing that for like, I want to say 3 weeks to keep me from getting to that 1,000. Because then you can, monetize and do other things. So I don't know if they're doing some unsubscribing on the back end, or people just getting mad, getting ticked off, like, man, I'm tired of him. I'm going to unsubscribe. And that, like I said before, that's fine too, because you could be doing anything with your time, talent, and treasure. So when you tune in and join Elephant Man Podcast, I'll be like, thank you, and thank you some more. I don't have a problem with that. Well, I'm trying to find my scriptures about check in before they check out. So before I get into that, I want to explain what I mean when I say check in before they check out. Man, we only get one shot in life, man. We only got one family, right? We so busy, we got family, we got all these different things going on, man. And a lot of times, man, some folk ain't in a good pace, in a good space and a good place. So I'm gonna challenge everybody that's listening to this live and listen to this afterwards. Check in with your people, man. Check in before they check out. And I don't mean actually check out as in death, but I'm just saying before they check out, because you can be somewhere and not be somewhere. You can be a part of something and not be a part of it, right? We want to check in. Employees, supervisors, check in with your workers, man. Check in with your workers. If you're in a leadership position, check in with your workers. As long as they ain't saying nothing, then they good. They all right. You know what I mean? Not necessarily. You got to check in before they check out, because folks check out mentally and spiritually long before they check out physically. I'm going to say that again. Folks check out mentally and spiritually long before they check out physically. So you got to check in on your people. Check in on your people, right? If you're married, check in on your spouse. If you got some children, check in on them. Oh, I'm good. Really? You sure? Right? Check in on them, right? Because sometimes we suffer in silence and others suffer in silence and they don't have to, right? You have to check in, man, with people, pretty much. Okay, and sometimes it's malicious and sometimes it's not malicious. So here's some reasons why some people don't check in to make sure everybody's cool. And I'm just gonna read them off like this: self-centeredness, straight up and down, just straight up self-centered. Long as I'm good, then we good, right? Right? Entitlement. That's another reason. I'm not ragging on nobody, but this, is if the shoe fits, wear it. If it don't worry about it. Survival of the fittest mode. Looking out for who they are, number one, looking out for yourself, right? Pride, ego, position, lack of empathy is a reason why you won't check in on somebody, right? And another thing, this is on the person who is not well. If they don't say nothing, they good, right? Sometimes we just say, oh man, if they ain't saying nothing, they good, they cool, they must be cool. No, not necessarily, right? So the check out is not necessarily deaf, like I said. You can check out mentally or spiritually, right? There's a disconnect which can lead to a misunderstanding. Sometimes it might be a disconnect which can lead to a misunderstanding. So I'm telling you right here, right now, check in with your people, right? You got somebody that you ain't talked to in a long time, right? They stay across, town, or they stay a couple of states over, or they stay far, right? You're on the East Coast, they're on the West Coast, or vice versa. They down south, you don't know. Check in on your people. And I'm gonna practice what I preach. I'm gonna check in on some people I haven't checked in with. We got some people that's sitting in jail, sitting in prison, that you need to check in on, right? Fly that person a kite, if I should say it like that. Fly them a kite. That means send them a letter and check in on them, man. How you doing, right? And we got this. Always had to have this this exterior, like I'm cool, I'm all right. No, you might not be all right. They might not be all right. Check in on your people, man. Ask the Most High for discernment. Ask him for discernment, so you'll be able to check in on people. Ask him for discernment. Okay. I'm gonna read this scripture. It's real good. I did the wrong thing. Present screen. All right. It is 1 John. I'm sorry. 3 John 3. 3 John 1 and 2. There we go. Just want to make sure all my stuff is together. And it reads, Beloved, I wish above all things that they may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper. I wish above all things that they may prosper and be in good health, even as thy soul prosper. Right? So, amen. We just want to prosper and be in good health, even as our soul prosper. We don't want to be like the people that's showing selective empathy towards us, right? Selective empathy. They go all out for one people or group of people and not out for someone else. And it's crazy how they beat up on, I ain't gonna say victim, but the person that's ostracized, they beat up on that person. Very, very interesting. I got ministers that do that, right? They think you stuck in a place. No, it's not a never forget or never let them forget, but it's a place of, man, what I'm going through or what I've been through is important. I'm not harping on it, right? I'm not making a pity party of it, right? But this is a reminder of the victory that the Most High brought me from and brought me through, right? And we're not going to let that happen again, right? As we get older, we keep living, we get older, we get wiser. And so I'm just telling you today, I want you to think of that person, that family member, that friend. I'm guilty of it too, y'all. I get to going and going and going, and I don't check in on my peeps, right? Because I'm a task-oriented person, right? Everybody built different, right? Some people in a relationship, I'm task-oriented, right? What is the task at hand, and what do we need to do to get that task done? So if somebody get hurt or some, fall off along the way, I'm a type of person like brush yourself off, bandage yourself up, and let's keep going because we got a place to go. And I'm guilty of that. I got to work on that as far as doing better, right? Doing better on that. So check in with your person, check in with your people. Tomorrow is Tuesday, right? Unless you're in England, then tomorrow I think is going on Wednesday, something like that. But nevertheless, tomorrow, this week, check in on your people, right? You never know. They waiting to hear from you. And life is short. Some of you guys, you upset with somebody and he said this and he shouldn't have did that. Man, you'll never know when the last time you're going to see that person, right? So time out for all of that. Somebody got to be the mature part. Somebody got to be the mature person when it comes to that. Yeah, Rohan, you're right. 3 John 1 is deep. Show kindness to the stranger due to the fact that they take nothing from the other nations. Absolutely. Absolutely. Beloved, I wish above all that you may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper. And you are blessed to be a blessing. And what I mean by that is if you're blessed, it's not just for you to heap it up on yourself, because somebody around you is not in the same position that you're in. They are worse off than you, right? So you're blessed to be a blessing, right? You're blessed and highly favored to be a blessing to somebody else, right? The simple fact that you know the Most High is a blessing in itself. Because some folk is down bad. They can't rely on the Most High. They rely on other things to get them through. And then when it really is the Most High in the background holding them up, So we just thank the Most High for all that He's doing. I'm like, why are they doing all that screaming? They playing the game. Like, man, it's a nightcap. But beloved, I wish above all that you may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper, man. So we got to check in, man. Sometimes I deal with things, and you don't want to be petty. You know what I mean? So I don't really say nothing. You know what I mean? But we got to speak up. The late one of my coaches was like, "Closed mouths don't get fed," right? And that's true. Closed mouths don't get fed. We don't want to seem petty. We don't want to seem selfish. We don't want to seem whatever. But we got to open our mouths up and speak, man. Open our mouths up and speak, right? You can say it tactfully. You ain't got to say it rude or mean, because I used to give folks the business. So open my mouth, you know what I mean? And you ain't got to slice and dice nobody up verbally. You just tell them what's going on, right? And sometimes folk don't even know that. And that's the crazy thing about it. You assume, oh man, he know what he did. She know what she said, right? That person might not even know what they did. So you got to bring it to them and say, yo, this bothered me, man, and I want to bring it to you. I don't want to harp on that anymore, right? It's about deliverance. That's one thing about the awakening. It's about deliverance. It's about moving forward. It's about leading. It's about being salt and light of the earth. That's what it's about, man. That's what we're trying to do here, right? So blessings to you all. I just wanted to have a quick nightcap. But also, one thing that's very, very interesting with the whole, well, I don't want to get into no discussion with that, but the whole Kanye thing is real weird, man. He's all over the place, man. And so I don't really want to get into all that, use it as a distraction, but he's all over the place, man. But one thing I find out that's very, very interesting, you say something against a certain group of people and they call it anti-Semitic. That right there is crazy. And they can shut you down, cancel you, cancel culture you, stop the bank from processing your money and all of that. And you could be telling the God honest truth, right? And they call it hate, right? And I'm like, man, the shoe on the other foot. Sometimes in our situation, we don't just get our quote unquote feelings hurt. We get killed, straight murked, and won't get a decent day in court. Again, we start saying stuff like that, and you got folk that's like, man, you trying to bring out the world's smallest violin and you harping on the problem. No, I just want to let the problem just die. You know what I mean? And the whole all lives matter thing is, it's very insensitive. You wouldn't have to say Black Lives Matter if all lives mattered. Okay? It's a house, it's a street full of houses. One house is blazing on fire. blazing, straight on fire. And the fire truck comes and start putting water on the house. And all of the other neighbors come out and say, yo, what you doing? They say, yo, this house is on fire. This house right now needs attention. This house matter. And that would be so crazy for the other neighbor to say, all these houses on this block matter. Yeah, all the houses on the block do matter. However, this house in particular is burning. This house in particular is in need. It's in dire need. It's not trying to get no special treatment, but in a sense it is, because we got to put this fire out, or else it's going to affect you and yours. So we got to focus on that, right? That selective empathy is so crazy. How they let, certain immigrants come over, but wouldn't even let the people from Haiti come over. So it's this place is real wild, selective empathy, right? But we're not mad. You know what I mean? We know that the enemy, John 10:10, come to steal, kill, and destroy. Yahushua said, I come that you may have life and that more abundantly, right? So we're not gonna worry about that. But check in before they check out. That's my main thing. I don't want to get off. We have to check in before the folk check out. We gotta be considerate, man, of other people, right? And just because you okay don't mean somebody else okay, right? A lot of time folk be on your team and you be like, man, you so great. You ever had this happen to you? You be on somebody's team and they think you just so great. But then when you say, I'm about to pivot, I'm about to join another team, all of a sudden you ain't that great no more. Oh, man, you ain't this, that, and other. You ain't going to be able to do that on your own. You know how long it took me to get this going? Yeah. But you did it. You let me know what can be done, right? So anyway, check in before they check out. Check in with somebody this week. I want to update this week. Also, excuse me, I will be talking about the Khazar Empire because it's needed, right? And I hope I don't get dinged or the show taken down, but I'm going to really, really talk about that Khazar Empire. Matter of fact, if you have not seen the Sons of Japheth, Unmasking the Gentiles Part 4 with Dante, I'm going to put it in the chat. It's very, very good. So I'm just going to touch on it a little bit. Oh, hold on. Man, why that other thing come up? See, my computer backing up. All right, so I'm gonna post it in the chat. If you haven't seen it, or if you haven't seen it in a while, go check it again. Unmasking the Gentiles, Sons of Japheth. Some folk, I mean, everybody is who they are, right? You can't say you somebody you're not, right? You can't replace somebody else, right? Everybody in this tapestry, I look at this as a big quilt, right? And everybody bring their part, right? Just different colors, there's different patterns and different things in this big old quilt that the Most High is making, right? You can't come in another person's part. You are you and they are them, right? I was just listening to a program concerning Islamic wars and the Khazar wars. Yes. You're right. Yes, it is. But this video I got, and I'm gonna show it this week. Very, very interesting. It's so many different moving parts, but I want to go with the history of it. What happened, right? With King Bulan, right? He had to choose between the Byzantine Christian Empire or the Caliph, the Muslim, right? And so he just ended up choosing and converting to Judaism. Instead of going Christianity route or the Muslim route, he chose Judaism, and he had his whole. So it was a political thing. It wasn't a conversion of the heart with the Torah. But I don't want to get into that. But I want to be able to talk about that. So it's been a lot of sleight of hand, right? And how they got to Israel, and man, they need to go back to their homeland. These are the Jews of the Bible, and no, it's a lot to it that we have to uncover, and we cannot assume that everybody know this. We're not trying to beat a dead horse for those who understand the Khazarian Empire, but we do want to lay a foundation, right? We want to lay a foundation on that. So this week I'm gonna show the video. Also, I got that book from Arthur Kessler, the 13th tribe, and it actually goes in depth, and it got dates and it got times. It got a lot of different things going on. How they converted and different things like that. So they're not the original children of Israel in the Bible. So you can't be anti-Semitic if you're not Shemitic. You're Japhetic, right? You cannot. You cannot. You cannot be anti-Semitic, right? And this is one thing that's real crazy. Because even with that, fair use, they've been want to take that down, right? And I'm going to talk about, too, I'm going to talk about the Holocaust. I'm going to bring the pictures, right? It's a terrible thing. It was a terrible thing, right? But again, I don't want to get into that right now, but because I was trying to figure out what was going on, but they got different levels of Khazarian people. So it was like a sacrificing of the lower peasant class that went through that, because the top elites didn't go through that. Whenever they try to bring out selective empathy, they'll show the Holocaust, they'll show these different things. The top elites didn't go through that. That was just a part, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. That was a part of this plan, right? And even me saying this, to learn elders of the protocols of Zion and all these different things, right? There's different plans in place, right? They say, oh, man, that's anti-Semitic. You're trying to blame us, this, that, and the other. No, not the middle class or the peasant class. Well, not peasant class, but the lower class, the ones who are not affluent. I'm talking about the ones who own the banks and all that different stuff. Like sacrifice the peasant class. So, and then anytime somebody says something about it, they bring out these different movies and different documentaries. And we don't want to be persecuted again. And they immediately shut it down. The things with the Asian hate bill, boom, immediately shut down. And that's respect of person. That's a respect of person. But it's cool, though, because we are created to worship. And if we are rescued by anything or anybody else other than the Most High, then we'll start worshiping that entity. If we're rescued by the Democratic or the Republican Party, if we're rescued by celebrities, if we're rescued by a bill or law, if we're rescued by something else, then we'll start worshiping that. So that's why Deuteronomy 28, it said, no man shall buy you. Well, I have it as well at Dwayne Reed's Chill. Let me see. The history of Russia got it. Did you know that Russia is majority Islam? Email me some of your documents on that. I didn't know that. I didn't hear that. I mean, I'm not going to, the history of Russia. Okay. I would just listen to the program concerning. Okay. Yeah, man. It's a lot of stuff coming out. I didn't know that. I'm going to put my email in the chat. Email me that. I haven't heard of that. Okay. So anyway, we going to get into that this week. We definitely going to get into that this week. Right. We can't have that selective empathy, y'all. Right. And then we can't have a hard heart because folk is playing us to the curve, playing us to the left. Right. We got to keep our heart pliable and soft before the Most High so we can listen to the still small voice and not harden our heart. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom to you. And not harden our hearts, right? Because that's what it's designed to do, is to get our hearts hardened. You know what I mean? Sisters need more. Shalom. Shalom. We can't harden our hearts because he's trying to get 2 for 1, y'all. He's trying to get the offender and the offended together. The offender and the offended together. So we seated together in heavenly places. That means we sitting high and looking low with sitting high and looking low with the Most High, right? He's letting us know he's giving us discernment, right? By his ruach, not by might or by power, but by his ruach, but by his spirit, right? He's showing us of things to come. So we got to be patient. We got to continue to be salt and light. We got to continue to do our thing. We got to continue to expose the different things that's going on, not just for the sake of exposing, but for the sake of truth, right? For the sake of truth, we got to continue to lift up the bloodstained banner of Yahushua HaMashiach. The whole Kanye thing, my man, it just might be a publicity stunt. The White Lives Matter thing, I really don't trip off of that. I mean, because he all over the place, man. My brother's all over the place. So I don't even know if he got a handler. I don't know if y'all go watch that movie again. What's the name of the movie when she was stirring the tea? I just man, I can't think of that movie. Get Out. Go watch that movie. Get Out again. You know what I mean? So we don't know if he, under some kind of trance and got a handler, or he just a highly opinionated person that don't care. That could be the case too. Or he could be, controlled opposition. That might not be him at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I know that's science fiction, but we don't know, man. These folk out here was wild. So I don't really get into all that. I ain't trying to put him into a category, but I ain't gonna let him, make no worry about him distracting me while they signing bills and laws that we're unaware of and not knowing about or not being prepared for. So I know when they do real weird stuff like that, you know what I mean? And you should already know. People know the condition. We don't need Black Lives Matter bread. The Candace Owens coming out with movies and all that to debate and debunk the Black Lives Matter. Yeah, we know it's funded by certain money, but they running up on the black face of it. Let's talk about the Khazarian dollars behind it, George Soros. You'll never run up on them, right? You run up on Israel with ease, but you'll never run. Where are those dollars coming from? I want you to do something on that because they'll cancel culture you. They'll shut you down. It's controlled opposition. You'll never talk about that. You'll talk about the black face, right? And they got all this money and they this, that, and the other, and they for this and they for that, right? It's a lot of moving parts to it. Everybody ain't in it for justice and equality, right? You'll go to a site that they protested, set a car on fire, then here come the news team, and they got the car on fire in the site. Man, it's just some garbage, man. And it's like, look, hold on, we was out here demonstrating. We didn't set that car on fire, right? And it's just crazy, man. They painted a target on us. Hey, man, you're right, man. You're right. They painted a target on us. So we gotta trust in the Most High, man, because this is conspired, like it says in Psalms 83. It's a conspire against us, man. It's a conspiracy against us. I know conspiracy theory and all that. And some people love Babylon. Some love Babylon, and I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I just want to be treated right. But we're born in sin, shaped in iniquity in the fallen world, and we're waiting for Yahushua's return. And some folk now don't want Yahushua's return, even though they claim in the kingdom. They don't want Yahushua to return. They like the way they got this stuff set up. They want to restore and repair this broken system, right? They don't want Yahushua to return because he going to rule just. He's going to rule just. Yeah, COINTELPRO. That's not far-fetched. COINTELPRO is not far-fetched, right? It's not to have us talking about it, and that's not far-fetched. That's just real weird, man. The way they doing stuff. So that brother, man, and then once he had put the shirt on, Fox News and them, they ate it up. They were so happy he put that shirt on, threw him on the show real quick. Next week he gonna say something, make him mad, and he gonna be crazy again. But he's saying it in his mind, and he speaks, he speaks his mind, he speaks the truth, because he didn't put that shirt on. Next week he gonna say something about them. Just like when he said that whole thing about the Khazars, like, man, I'm going, what did he say? He started. They thought that he was talking about physically harming them, and I don't think that is what he was saying. I just think he was saying, I'm about to expose, I'm about to this, that, and the other. Well, people are knowing. That's a part of the awakening, knowing who we are. Some people are in denial, right? And other people don't want the awakening to happen because there's so much done. So they'd rather just be in denial than repent. They'd rather be in denial than repent and say, man, yo, Most High, I messed up, right? I repent, right? Man, we hugging your people from trees and shooting them and killing them and redlining and, bro, I'm so sorry. I repent, right? But they rather this that they rather not. They rather their hearts is hardened like Pharaoh. Their hearts is hard. So I mean, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Everybody that say they with the Most High ain't with the Most High, right? And you got what's the name? Urban apologists rebranding and restructuring their stuff, but the truth gonna come out. The truth needs to come out in order for the Most High's kingdom to be restored. The truth needs to come out, right? So we have to just focus on the Most High. We can't be bitter. We can't be bitter. We can't be upset. We can't be frustrated. Oh yeah, DEFCON 3. DEFCON 3. No, it's DEFCON. No. yeah. I think he said I'm gonna go DEFCON or something on him. Yeah. I'm like, what? But he didn't want to say he was gonna hurt them. They got anti-defamation league. They got all kind of stuff in place, man. Like I said, man, we could get killed, removed from the planet, and they got to decide on whether somebody gonna go to jail or whatever. They get their feelings hurt or get called out, and man, this shutting down bank accounts. I mean, just think about that. That should be a red flag right there. Like one of my boys said, man, it wasn't even on my radar till Nick Cannon said something, and they want to take the Masked Singer and shut down Wild 'N Out and all. Why? If it don't matter, if he's just spouting off at the mouth, it must mean something to it, right? It must mean something to it. Now, I'm not saying they get hate on, you know what I mean, spraying swastikas on the side of their stuff. Yeah, that's insensitive. You feel what I'm saying? But ain't nobody dying in the street like us, man. I'm telling you. Anybody. If they did that to any other group, they nation would be like, yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Any group. Italian, Japanese, Chinese, Russian, Poland, even German, right? They put all that off on Hitler, but then all of the Nazis that was with him, he had a whole army with him. A lot of the scientists came over here. Look it up, Operation Paperclip, because he had some technology that was having them advancing in the war and stuff like that. So they want that technology now. Okay, war over, we're gonna rebuild, but y'all scientists come on over here, right? And then I start in 54 and all that. They start doing the NASA program and different things like that. But Operation Facebook, I got booted off of Facebook. When you got booted off of Facebook? Okay. His judgment is merciful and just. I keep telling myself this. Yes, it is. It is. That's why, beloved, I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper. We have to where Von Braun had a Psalm scripture. Yeah. So, beloved, I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper. Prosperous soul, healthy mentally, spiritually, and physically. Healthy mentally, physically, and spiritually. How does that look? Healthy mentally, mental mind state, getting your rest, drinking your water, right? Not overthinking, not overdoing it, right? Healthy physically, exercise, even if it's light exercise, even if it's stretching and push-ups and sit-ups for 15 minutes a day. You ain't got to go to the gym. I mean, if you do go to the gym, that's a blessing. But if you just commit to something every day, you'll see yourself toning up and feeling better and the blood circulating in your body. Spiritually, praying and fasting with the Most High, right? Getting his books. And I'm reading even right now, man. I got the complete Apocrypha, the literary standard version, and I'm reading the Book of Jubilees. It is unbelievable, right? And it's crazy too, because after I read it, and I got a nightcap, I'm like, I'm just gonna go ahead and relax, go to sleep, play it on some Teo, so I can just hear what he's saying. And he right at the same. He spoke about the same spot. But I kid you not, he's at the same spot where I was reading. So this is what matter of fact, I might do a show on that tomorrow too, or sometime this week. That Jubilees, you know what I mean? He has not done away with his people. He ain't replaced his people, right? He's been faithful. We've been unfaithful. He's been faithful. He's married to the backslider. He said, "I'm gonna put my laws in their heart." He's not done away with his people, right? He grafted in other nations, but he didn't replace his people, right? And just let them do whatever. That don't make sense, right? And so people know that, and we coming around and getting around to that. But anyway, this is a quick nightcap. It is kind of late. Beloved, I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper. Blessings, second Exodus coming soon. But if it don't come, the next whatever years you're expecting it, continue to live your life, continue to pray, continue to worship the Most High, continue to tell other people about the Most High. That's one thing you can't do. Be so fed up and shut down or go live in a cave and not tell others about the Most High, right? Because he wished all men to come into the knowledge of who he is, not just Israel. He wished all men, to be honest. All right. Some people gonna deny it, but that ain't our job. Our job is either plant or water something that was planted. Our job is to plant or water water a seed that was planted. That's what our job is. Totally. Wow, they start slowing my sharing. They just slowed my sharing. What does that mean? They just slowed your sharing? Yeah, man, this whole thing, man. Hey, I'm telling you, that credit score, that social credit score, not to get on to something else, but they about to demonetize and shut down a lot of channels, and they're gonna shut down a lot of stuff. They're in the midst of working on a lot of different things like that. To shut down truth. I just shut it all down to shut down truth. Right? They want on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook tripping too, man. It's a certain thing they want. They want to control the narrative again. If you think about it, before we had all of this stuff, what was it? And we had the regular channels, and we had cable, and we had the media outlets was the news, the newspapers, the tabloids. They control what was put in there, and what was said, and what was fake, and what was real, or what was true, and what was false. But in the society we live in right now with social media, you can literally get the truth if they're trying to put a narrative out and they lying on something, or twisting, or stretching, or something. Then you can actually come and say, "Nope, I found this," right? And it can go viral, right? And so that's one of the cons to the social media. Now there is some crazies out there. I'm not going to say that. There is some crazies posting some conspiracy theory things, crazy things. But then there is some stuff that's just straight up truth, right? Straight up and down truth. And so they're going to have to censor it. It's going to be a heavy censorship coming for the sake of getting along. Watch what I tell you. It's going to be a heavy censorship, very heavy censorship coming in order to censor the truth, right? And some folk gonna fall in line. MySpace. You know what? I'm gonna tell you about the MySpace. It's still up, bro. It's still up. Like, I don't know whoever did MySpace, they should have repackaged it and put that mug out again. But it's still up. If you got an account in MySpace, it's still up. Crazy, man. Crazy. And that was back in a minute ago. Right? So blessings to you all. Elephant Man Podcast Network. Grown Man Conversation, dealing with elephants in the room. Check and see if you're still subscribed. Check and see if you're still subscribed, because every time I get to 980, they shave off 2 subscribers, and I go back down to 979. They don't want me to get to 1,000, y'all. And it's all good. It's all good. But if we blitz it and we knock that last 20 out, then you know what I'm saying, or get 25 real quick, then they can't really do nothing. They have to unsubscribe a lot. So Elephant Man Podcast Network, Grown Man Conversations dealing with elephants in the room. I will be having some classes coming up about growing, gardening, and farming. Blessings. We got some grants and different things that we're getting from the USDA to plant and grow food with this quote unquote food shortage. And we're going to be able to grow our own food shortage. And I think it might have been on Teo's page. I'm going to check again, or somebody might have put it on the Elephant Man page about you got to start registering your garden. Now, I'm going to look into it before but I'm like, that would be crazy because you can't have no food shortage if everybody growing food, right? You can literally get seeds from a bell pepper and grow some more bell pepper and grow some more. Get seeds from your squash and grow some more squash. Take beans and grow more beans, right? Put potato in water, but you just got to know what you're doing, right? If you know what you're doing, man, grow inside, right? There's certain things you can grow inside, right? And so I don't know how true that is. They're talking about you're going to have to register your garden. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. It can't be no shortage if you can take care of it. They want us to be the most dependent on them as much as possible. In the global reset, we have to be dependent on them as much as possible. It can't be any kind of autonomy, right? They're gonna have to make it illegal. Oh, it's illegal to grow your own stuff. What? It's illegal to grow my own stuff in my own yard? Yeah. All right. Now what? Now you got to come through me to get your food. Okay. But your social credit score is down. You're not up to date on your jabs. I know this sounds science fiction-y, but they already been practicing. They practiced the global shutdown, right? With the C-19 to see what it looked like. These are all exercises, man. But anyway, maybe that's why people be unsubscribing. Oh man. But anyway, man, I'm just tired of the crazy stuff, man. I got a small greenhouse. That's awesome. I'm about to expand my my setup. GMO. Yeah, GMO, or put something in the food, right? That's weird, right? Put something in the food and then make you dependent upon the petroleum-based products. Put something in the food, how you dependent on the petroleum-based products. And if you ever seen that Nick versus Sebi, you should check it out, man. This medical apartheid and this one, modern medicine. I think they might have took it down. It might be back on there. That's part 2. And then I had got that other one too. So very, very interesting. Talk about how they switch from from natural herbs to petroleum-based products. You know what I mean? So they can sell the modern medicine. That's why I got a petroleum-based in the modern medicine, right? Which makes you more sick or make you more dependent. You ever notice you get on one bottle, then you got to get another bottle. Next you know, you got a whole counter full of bottles. Like, wow. Now I got all these bottles, and they could do whatever. They can price gouge, right? And charge all kinds of money. You got the same remedy growing in your backyard or not that far from some seeds or some kind of medicinal flowers that we don't know about. We're not taught about it, right? Do the same thing, if not better, with little or no side effects. So we have to get back to that. So yeah, that's why they're gonna register your garden. Nah, man, y'all crazy with it. Elephant Man Podcast Network, Grown Man Conversation dealing with Elvis in the room. Make sure you check and see if you subscribed, like, share. I am out.
Perfect.